All right, let's talk GCSE Biology. We all know that feeling, staring at an exam paper. You know the science, but do you know how to give the examiner what they want? Today, we're going to crack open a real exam question and its mark scheme to figure out exactly how to do it. It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You spent ages revising, you know your stuff inside and out, but how do you make sure you're writing down the exact answer that gets the marks? Well, that's what this is all about. We're going to look at the official rulebook, the mark scheme, and see precisely what it's asking for. So here's our game plan. We'll start by looking inside the exam question itself. Then we're going to break it down piece by piece. First, fungal cells and diseases, then a bit of maths with a cell division calculation, a quick section on protein, and we'll finish up by tackling that big 6-marker on evaluating a balanced diet.
Right, here's our mission. We're diving into question 2 from the AQA GCSE Biology paper from June 2022. And we've got the secret weapon, the official mark scheme. This is going to show us exactly what you needed to write to get every single mark. No more guessing, this is straight from the source. Okay, let's get straight to it. The first 2 parts of this question are a bit of a warm-up, testing some of that core knowledge on cell biology and diseases. So here we go. The first question, just 1 mark. It's asking you to look at this diagram of a fungal cell and name one part that you'd also find in a plant cell, but, and this is the important bit, you would not find it in an animal cell. A classic comparison question.
And here are the only 2 answers that will get you the mark. You can write cell wall, or you can write large or permanent vacuole. Now, see those words in brackets. That means they're optional. Wall is enough, but look at what the mark scheme also says. Ignore cellulose. Why? Well, it's a bit of a trap. Plant cell walls are made of cellulose, but fungal cell walls are made of chitin. So, if you wrote cellulose wall, you'd get 0 marks. It just goes to show how precise you need to be. On to the next one. A straightforward multiple-choice question. You've got 4 options: gonorrhea, malaria, measles, or rose black spot. Which one of these is caused by a pesky fungus? And the correct answer is rose black spot. This is a pure memory question, really. You just have to know your pathogens. Gonorrhea is bacterial, malaria is a protist, and measles is a virus, which leaves rose black spot as the only fungal disease on the list. Okay. Time to switch gears. We're moving from just remembering facts to actually applying them. Yep, it's a calculation question. And for these, showing you're working is absolutely everything. So, here's the puzzle. A fungal cell divides every 90 minutes. The question is, how many times can it do that in a whole day, in 24 hours? Now pay attention to the marks. It's worth 2. That's a massive clue that this isn't just a one-step problem. And here's exactly how to get those 2 marks. The best part is you get 1 mark just for showing you know the method, even if your final answer is a bit off. So, first step, you can't mix hours and minutes. You got to convert the 24 hours into minutes. So 24 times 60 gives you 1,440 minutes. Then you just divide that big number by the 90 minutes it takes for 1 division. Which brings you to the final answer of 16. That gets you the 2nd mark. But hold on, check out this little note from the examiner. Do not accept if a unit is given. Another one of those tiny but crucial details. The question asks how many times, so if you write 16 divisions, that's fine, but just writing the number 16 is perfect. A small thing that could easily cost you a mark. Okay, we're back in familiar territory now with some rapid-fire biology questions. This part is all about protein, hitting you with some quick questions on digestion and food tests. And let's not waste any time. The answers are, where is protein digested? In the stomach. And what's the chemical test for protein? The Bio-Rat reagent. Boom, 2 more marks in the bag, just like that. All right, take a deep breath, because here comes the big one. The final part of question 2 is the extended response question, worth a massive 6 marks. These are the ones where you really have to show what you know, linking different ideas together to build a proper argument. Let's see how it's done. So first, you have to understand how these are marked. It's called level of response. This means the examiner isn't just counting up 6 correct facts. It's not a checklist. They're looking at the overall quality of your answer. You could list 10 random facts and only get a couple of marks, or you could link just 3 ideas together brilliantly and get full marks. It's all about building a logical argument. The question asks you to weigh up the pros and cons of meat burgers versus meat-free burgers for a healthy diet, and you have to use this table. Rule number 1, you must use the data. Just a quick look shows some huge differences, right? Protein, fiber, fat, and look at that cholesterol difference. So the mark scheme gives us a list of indicative content. Think of it as a cheat sheet of good points you could make. You don't have to say all of them, but you need to use some to make your argument. For instance, you could say the meat-free burger has much more fiber, and then link that to helping digestion. Or you could point out the higher fat and cholesterol in the meat burger and link that to an increased risk of things like coronary heart disease. It's all about connecting the data to the biology. But if you want to get into that top-level answer, you need to think a little wider. The mark scheme actually gives credit for bringing in other ideas. You could talk about the environmental impact, like methane from cattle farming. You could mention ethical issues around eating animals. You could even make a really smart point by criticizing the data, saying that the table doesn't tell us anything about vitamins or minerals. That shows you're thinking like a real scientist. And this right here, this is the secret formula for getting 5 or 6 marks. Let's break it down. A judgment means you have to make a decision and state it clearly. For example, overall, the meat-free burger is a healthier choice. Then, strongly linked and logically supported means you have to back it up with evidence. This is because it has less fat, reducing obesity risk, and 0 cholesterol, which is better for heart health. You're making a claim, and then you're proving it. So, after pulling that whole question apart, what's the big lesson here? Is that doing well in these exams is like playing a game. And to win, you have to know the rules. The mark scheme is the rulebook. Understanding how it works and what kind of language gets rewarded is just as vital as knowing your biology. And that's what I want to leave you with. Seeing an exam question from the examiner's point of view is a superpower. So, my question to you is, now that you've seen inside the machine, now that you know how it's marked, what are you going to do differently in your revision? How is this going to change how you answer questions?